I know this domestic violence task force was created in light of the unfortunate events that happened. I'm not going to be specifically at you, but I know that you're directed a lot in several different manners in your capacity, your capacity that you have as Attorney General. But you're mentioned heavily as the task force, which includes yourself, Assistant Attorney General Chrissy Nemo, the Attorney General's lead prosecutor Sandy Crosland. The thing is with that is it makes me deeply concerned for our safety of our women and children, because the people who were negligent in their jobs, which is whom I just mentioned, allowed a domestic abuser of women to remain unprosecuted for obvious political reasons. That abuser went on to commit murder of one of our employees. Now, there are major problems with his administration because the chief has allowed too much control to cover up his mistakes. And since I've been on council, I've witnessed cases be swept under the rug, such as a former high school administrator courting an underage student for 3 years before having relationships with her and then employing her as his assistant. It was supposedly investigated, swept under the rug, and no charges were brought. Then we had 5 of our Cherokee children were reporting child abuse at our child care at the Circle. Investigation was supposedly conducted, but once it was swept again, and now the teacher who was abusing the kids is still employed with Cherokee Nation and working for the education department. There are countless other stories of women and children being targeted by high-ranking employees, yet this administration has continued to sweep them under the rug. And this is where it's time for checks and balances to happen. This council must step up to the plate and form its own actual investigation on the administration for its inability to govern our people and keep them safe. We have the state of Texas, we have the state of Kansas, the state of Louisiana, and the state of Nebraska. And now 2 major cities, one of them just mentioned as being the largest population, Owasso, inside of a reservation, have all signed on to end our ability to govern our reservations because they are scared for their own protection. That's the question right there. Why would they do it? I think it's because they are scared at their own protection. This administration has proven to them all that they cannot protect the public. It's unfortunate that the chief would rather go after political oppositions by arresting them during a campaign than go after real threats to the public and file charges and arrest them. Now it's time for us as the council to start our own domestic abuse task force by creating a committee of counselors to investigate the dysfunction of the administration's handling of McGirt. The first thing we need to do is to call for a formal investigation of the Governmental Health Review Board, which has the final hiring process of the doctor who is well known a domestic abuser, as it was well documented whenever we start looking at the actual accounts from who he was. We need to look at removing clauses of certain cabinet members, such as the Attorney General herself, for the negligence that is shown in since McGirt and the failures to file domestic abuse charges against certain individuals. So, my fellow councilmen and women, I make a motion that we need to create an Indian Protection Committee. That way we can go and we can start looking at these things, every single one of us. We can start taking an approach of what kind of laws we can create, what policies need to be conducted, and how we can go about moving forward to protect everybody within Cherokee Nation and within our reservation. And that's all I have to say about that. So I'm calling on all you guys to see what we could do moving forward within our council.